Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about chemistry, and the topic name is physical and chemical changes. So, last session we saw about what is physical and chemical change. Now we are going to learn about what are the characteristics of chemical change. So, chemical changes are changes that produce new substances. Many chemical changes show certain characteristics, such as first one is change in color. Some example of chemical changes or chemical reaction that produce color changes: the browning of cut apples, in lime water turning a milky color when mixed with carbon dioxide, the rusting of iron, and the ripening of fruits. These are that example for change in color. And the next character is evolution of gas. Some example of chemical changes that evolve into a gas are example photosynthesis, burning of fuels, and then respiration, the reaction of marble with acid. These are that example of evolution of gas. During this process, during this chemical changes, some gas are released. So these are called one more characteristics of chemical change. And the next production of heat and light. Some chemical changes that produce heat and light, say for example the burning of fuel and lighting, and then the burning of magnesium. Look at the picture. When you burn the magnesium, it produces heat and light also. One more character is production of sound. During these chemical changes, some changes are produce sound. Say for example, bursting of a cracker, the burning of hydrogen, and lighting, that means which produce thunder. Okay, so these are producing light, heat as well as sound. And the one more character is change in odor. Odor means smell. So some other changes that produce a change in odor, say for example spoilage of food, the souring of milk, and the rotting of eggs. So these are that example for change in odor. So these are the characteristics of the chemical change. Another example is, look at the picture. A magnesium ribbon burns with a dazzling white flame, producing heat and light. It forms a white powder called magnesium oxide. I give you one more example of chemical change. Look at this. Copper sulfate, that is white color. When you added water with copper sulfate, it changed into blue color. Okay, so when iron nail are put in a solution of copper sulfate, a chemical change takes place as a brown coating deposits on the iron nails, and the copper sulfate solution turns from blue to green. So chemical changes can be represented in the form of a chemical equation. So magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. Like that, copper sulfate plus iron gives iron sulfate plus copper. Next we see about one more chemical changes, rusting. When objects made up of iron come into contact with moist air, a browny flaky substance called rust is formed on them. So this process is called rusting of iron. So that chemical equation is iron plus oxygen plus water gives rust. And also rusting is a harmful chemical change that damages and weakens objects made from iron. If rusting happens for a long enough period of time, the rusted iron object will need to be replaced. Say for example, the bottoms of iron ship become rusty due to their constant contact with water. The rusted parts of the ship have to be replaced if the ship is to last for a long time. Similarly, railway tracks and coaches have to be replaced when they get rusted. The replacement and repair of iron objects is expensive and time consuming. So rusting of iron can be prevented if iron can be kept from coming into contact with air and water. So how can rusting be prevented? Some common ways to preventing the rusting of iron are painting. If a layer of paint or oil is applied on objects made up of iron, rusting can be prevented or reduced. Gates, grills, doors, benches, and fences made of iron are prevented from rusting by applying painting. Tools can be prevented from rusting by applying a layer of oil. And the next way is galvanization. If a layer of zinc metal is coated on iron, it protects it from rusting. Iron pipes that carry water are galvanized to prevent rusting. Galvanized iron sheets are used in factories to make sheds. And the next way is plating. Bicycle frames, tapes are coated with a layer of nickel or chromium metal to prevent them from rusting. So these are the methods used to prevent iron from rust. I hope you all understood this topic. Thank you.